Our planet is now an ideal place for living organisms and plants to live comfortably. But it was not always so.
First in outer space.
The primordial atmosphere consisted mainly of hydrogen and helium, and a lot of carbon dioxide. So no one alive today would have been able to take a step in such conditions. Gradually, the situation changed, and now we breathe a mixture of nitrogen, which is over 75% of the air, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, methane, and other volatile substances. Ice and sea salt crystals, dust, water droplets, and combustion products are also present in the Earth's atmosphere. Oxygen plays a huge role in this symbiosis. It is just over 23% in our air. It is considered to be an essential gas for human and animal life. But not everyone knows that the 16th element of the Mendeleev table can be a deadly poison. Let's ask ourselves what would happen if the concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere increased significantly up to 100%? One thing is for sure, the Earth would immediately lose its title of a comfortable and hospitable planet. So what is the importance of this gas for humans, and what processes in the body does it affect? If oxygen disappears from the list of components of the atmosphere for even 5 seconds, the consequences will not be too catastrophic, but quite unpleasant. What would happen? First, internal combustion engines would immediately stop working, and all cars would stall, and airplanes would crash on takeoff or landing. The airliners, which will be in the sky at that moment, will be able to save themselves by planning in the air. But there will be no mass extinction of living organisms. Those who are able to hold their breath for a short period of time will definitely survive. Worse, if the oxygen atom were to disappear in principle, it would lead to an apocalypse. Everything we are used to would turn to dust, since concrete, stone, wood, glass, etc. are based on components that must contain oxygen. Even the Earth's crust itself is 46% composed of this gas. That means that cars, houses, clothes, roads, grass, in an instant, will become meaningless dust, and the oceans will vaporize. But mankind will not see this, because immediately after the disappearance of oxygen, our cells will be transformed into gas and will melt forever. And 75% of the elements that make up the body will be destroyed. It would seem that since this gas is so essential to us, an increase in its quantity should only be beneficial. Not at all. Even a twofold increase in the percentage of oxygen in the atmosphere will cause objects to either spontaneously combust or ignite from a small spark. Smoldering cigarettes in such a grotesque world will become an impossible phenomenon. They will not smolder, but burn full-blown. The Earth will be engulfed by fires which are almost impossible to extinguish. The second thing that is clearly noticeable when the O2 concentration rises is the giant insects and arthropods. The Earth has experienced such an invasion before, but there were no humans on the planet then. During one of the periods of the Paleozoic era, called the Carboniferous era, insects grew to frightening sizes. The paleontological record unequivocally speaks about it. Oxygen in the atmosphere then was about 35%. And even at this level, living things were characterized by amazing size. The list of ancient Goliaths is enormous. Arthropleurae, giant millipedes growing up to 2.5 meters, pulmonoscorpiuses, scorpions up to 70 centimeters in length, meganeurae, meter-long predatory dragonflies, and many other insect-like monsters. But apart from global fires and grasshoppers from hell, humanity would face another danger. Even a slight increase in oxygen concentration would lead to mass aging of people. There is a scientific explanation for this. The average person inhales about 140 liters of oxygen per day, taking about 20,000 breaths. The brain regulates the supply of life-giving gas to each cell, and it's not a matter of benefit. It's about the life and death of molecules. Almost all of the O2 goes to produce energy, without which the body cannot function. The fact is that oxygen is the most powerful oxidizer on Earth, burning substances like wood in a fireplace, converting them into energy. The process takes place in the mitochondria. This is the part of the cell where everything we ate gets decomposed to the simplest molecules. The aerobic method of energy production is the most efficient compared to the others. So, if we start breathing 100% oxygen, we'll turn into Superman energizers. Absolutely not. Those who survive will very soon start to look like profound old men. Why is this paradox possible? The answer is simple. 1% of the oxygen received during the day is spent on the production of hydrogen peroxide and free radicals. These are inevitable byproducts of oxidation. The hydroxide radical is similar in action to chlorine, so it reliably protects cells from bacterial invasion. But at the same time, some of the reactive oxygen species damage cellular DNA and provoke aging. If this is the situation now, when only 23% of this gas is in the atmosphere, it is easy to guess what a person breathing 100% oxygen would become. But most likely it will not come to that. Living beings, accustomed to the current concentration of O2, will die much sooner. The most dangerous thing that awaits everyone who inhales pure oxygen for a long time is total poisoning. For the insects of the Paleozoic era, mentioned earlier, the high concentration of O2 only resulted in an acceleration of metabolism and increased growth, while it is difficult for modern humans to survive in such conditions. An atmosphere of 100% oxygen is a utopia, but with modern medical centers, it is easy to demonstrate what happens if you breathe concentrated O2 for a while. In any form of oxygen poisoning develops numbness of the extremities, increasing anxiety, tunnel vision effect, increased buzzing in the ears, dizziness, severe nausea, vomiting, then develop convulsions that lead to paralysis of respiratory muscles. Similar poisoning, to which patients of clinics or divers may now be exposed, awaits a person caught in an environment with an increased amount of oxygen, and the more significant the concentration, the faster the body will fail. Do you want to know what our lives would be like if humans adapted to breathing oxygenated air? The world would turn into a fireman's dream, where attempts to light a harmless fire would end in a powerful explosion every time. Arachnophobes would be uncomfortable on such a planet, because spiders the size of a man would move freely among us. In addition, the Earth would overflow with shriveled creatures afflicted with Alzheimer's disease and graying literally from childhood. Not a very attractive world, is it? Fortunately, this is unlikely to happen anytime soon. Mankind is more likely to be threatened by hypoxia than by an overabundance of oxygen. If you want to know more, order topics for future videos. If you want to be the first to see updates, click on the bell. If you can't wait to express your enthusiasm, press your thumbs up. We'll hear each other in the next episodes.